In this video, I'm going to play you a 2-guitar version of the John Coltrane song, Giant Steps. And before I play it, I'm going to give you a little explanation and a little roadmap so that you can practice it, you can understand it, and so that you can enjoy it even more. Let's get started. So if you're a jazz expert and you just want to skip ahead to the musical performance part of this video, check the timestamp below. You can click that and bypass the little lecture that I'm about to give for a couple minutes. But if you are a blues and rock person or a pop listener and you have no idea what's going on in jazz, I'm going to give you just a little primer right here, and I think this will really help you. My good buddy, Henry Olson, he runs a site called Super Simple Guitar. He's a killin' rock and blues player. And so I sent him the audio of what you're about to hear just because I wanted to get his opinion on it. And he said, man, it sounds so cool, but it's over my head. I have no idea what's going on. And that was like really cool feedback to get from him, because very often musicians of all styles, particularly jazz musicians, have the curse of the expert. You know, we forget how chaotic and confusing this can sound to the average public or even to musicians of another style. I'm going to break it down for you. So John Coltrane's Giant Steps was a sort of a revolutionary tune. It's on his record, which is also called Giant Steps, which was released in 1959. John Coltrane was one of the greatest saxophone players of all time. And with this tune and with him, jazz truly took an evolutionary leap. Now, one of the things that's going on in this tune is there's very rapid key changes. Okay, it's the keys themselves are major thirds apart. So just to give you an example, we're in the key of B, we're in the key of G, we're in the key of E flat, then we're back at B, and it's changing, and it's the challenge to the improviser to play melodic lines that hit all those changes and not get confused, okay? And make melodies and make nice music with it and groove. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll be posting subscriber-only content here, such as reviews. I'll let you take a look behind the scenes at what I do. I'll tell you all about my gear. You'll get brand new guitar lessons and good old guitar videos. I don't want you to miss out on the freebies and goodies either that I will be sending to subscribers only. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that YouTube notifies you when I post something new. I'm going to play right now for you just what's called the head of the tune, the melody. It's only a 16-bar tune, and I'm going to put it on the screen for you, and I'll put some sort of indication of where I am in the tune. So I'm going to sing it. It's not going to be the most beautiful singing you've ever heard, but it's enough for you to, in slow motion, hear what's going on. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, and dee, 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 da, da, wee, da, da, do, dee, be, boo, be, dee, dee, wee, ooh, ooh, doo, and then we're back at the top. That was the 16-bar tune. Okay, so now here's what it sounds like when it's up to tempo. So the concept that I'm about to tell you right now is really simple, but what it sounds like is jazz, scrambled eggs, chaos when you hear it back. These 16 bars remain throughout the tune and they cycle. So the guys playing the chords or the bass lines are always playing these exactly 16 bars. And the improviser is improvising on all of these changes. After everybody gets to bar 16, it goes back to the top of the form, meaning it goes back to bar 1. Now, this is where, for jazz musicians who've practiced this tune, it's obvious. I could walk into a club and I would know right where they are on Giant Steps if I heard people playing it. Furthermore, if you are a serious jazz musician, this is required, this tune. Meaning, if you show up to a jam session, you will probably have to be able to play this. It's standard repertoire at this point, believe it or not. You know, if you go to Nashville, you have to know Cannonball Rag, but if you go to a jam session, a jazz jam session, you got to know Giant Steps. So now what I'm going to do is just drop in exactly one chorus, one go through of these 16 bars from my solo. And I'm going to mark it on the sheet music so that you can see it sounds like chaos, but it's adhering to the form. Let's take a listen. All right, so the changes are going by too fast to think. So you actually have to prepare melody lines under your fingers and wire yourself with these lines so that you can make spontaneous decisions without thinking. And so that you basically hear the tune and you're not thinking about it. Let me just show you some of what musicians typically practice. Now, here's a line that I realized I didn't use at all in the solo that I probably should have. It's a way to navigate these fast changes at the front where you do an ascending figure of 1, 2, 3, 5 from a major scale. So if I do that starting on the root of each chord, it sounds like this. And then I can go somewhere else after that. So since I've been playing with my fingers, playing jazz, I haven't practiced that line. I used to play that line a lot when I was flat picking. Okay, so that's a way to navigate those changes ascending. That's just one example. An example of how you might come down through the changes, meaning if you wanted a melody line that started high and came lower, would be something like this. So I'm not really thinking of each chord change as it goes by. I've practiced that line, it's sequential, and it will hit the changes. And so if you really have to wire some of those lines into your system. So that's just sort of a little indicator of what you might practice for the first 8 bars of the tune. Anyhow, enough talking. Let's get into it. Here's Giant Steps. Be sure to leave a comment below. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments section. I really look forward to hearing what you have to say and hearing what you think. Here we go, John Coltrane's Giant Steps. All right. Play it nice, Adam. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. chords.